If you want to scale your trading business, the ES futures market is where you want to be. In the ES futures market, you can start with as little as one contract. One contract would be like the minimum you could trade in the ES futures market. So at one contract, what you're saying is that I want to buy one contract, and that contract will be worth $50 per point. So if the market went in your favor, every point would be worth $50. If it went against you, every point would be negative $50. But the beauty of the ES futures market is that when you have a profitable trading system, when you can win consistently, then it's very easily to scale the business by just adding another contract. You know, instead of one contract, you could do 2 or 10 or 20. So the ES futures market is just designed to be able to scale a trading business once you know how to win consistently. That's the key. You definitely need to know how to win consistently, but there's a new player in the game now, because if you go through a prop firm like Take Profit Trader, now you can scale your business on steroids. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video today. And we're going to talk about some people who have already been able to pass a prop firm challenge using our free guide, Finally Funded. And if you need help to pass your prop firm challenge, comment below, give me the guide, and I'll send that right over to you. But what we're going to do today is look at how you can take advantage of prop firm trading to scale your business and increase on the sudden. Let's go deeper. Hey guys, how's it going? JD here. So yes, today we're going to talk about how to scale your trading business through prop firms. So if you're not familiar, prop firms is just a company that anybody can sign up with, any retail trader can sign up with. You sign up with them, you take what's a challenge. You know, most of them call them a challenge or a test. It's a trading test to see if you got what it takes, right? They're going to give you a whole bunch of rules and guidelines that you got to cover. But if you pass your test or pass your challenge, then you will get a funded account. Typically, they offer them in 25K, 50K, 100K, 175K, something like that, whatever the case may be. I personally like 100K accounts. It gives me a little bit more cushion. But that's the situation. So once you sign up with a prop firm, then you have the ability, right, to trade for them after you pass the test. So here's the beauty. I go through Take Profit Trader. They're my prop firm of choice. The main reasons, they have 1-day payouts, right? So as soon as I get funded, on day one of being a pro member with them, they call you a pro trader once you get funded. Day one with a pro plus account, with a pro account, day one, right, I can make enough money to get a withdrawal. That just almost trumps everything for me. Being able to have daily payouts. Every time I look to go somewhere else, I just come right back like, I love the daily payouts. I just can't, I couldn't see living without that at this point. And Take Profit Trader offers that. So that's the reason why, you know, I choose them. But now let's say that I have a profitable system and hey, it's time to scale up, right? Because that's the beauty of the futures market, right? Once you know, let's just say you do nothing but take range fade, you got a setup, all right? It don't matter what the name of it is. You have a setup. It's winning enough that it's making you money consistently. You only trade that one setup, right? Let's say you're doing that at one contract, right? Well, when you want to scale your business, you want to make more money, all you have to do is add a contract. That's what makes the ES futures market so awesome. All you have to do, if you've been trading with one contract, to scale your business, you just add another contract. You don't have to take more trades. You don't have to take on, you know, you're taking on a little bit more risk once you add another contract, but you don't have to take more trades. You can take the same profitable trade that you've been consistent with, that you've been profiting with, and scale your business just by adding another contract. So that's just built into the futures market. But once you get to the prop firm situation, right? In the example of Take Profit Trader, see, they allow you to have up to 5 accounts, right? You can have 5 pro funded accounts with Take Profit Trader. So instead of just having a 100K account, right? You can have 5 100K accounts, all right? So now, in the intro, I talked about scaling your business on steroids. That's how you put your trading business on steroids, by passing multiple challenges, having multiple funded accounts. And so now, right, let's say you still only trading one contract, right? And let's just say you make 2 points. Well, before you would have made $100, but now you have 5 accounts with Take Profit Trader. So you're not making $100, you just made $500 with the same effort, right? You only with the same effort, you're able to 5x your money, 5x scale your business. And you do this through just a trade copier, right? So I use Replicano as my trade copier. There's others out there. You just get a trade copier, you connect it to one account, right? And you copy the other 4. So you're only managing one account, right? You're only managing one account, but now you have access, right, to trade 5 of them. So you manage 1, you trade 5, it's all good. And you have scaled your business. You put your business on steroids, because every time you make $100, you're not making $100, you're making 500, right? So that's awesome. But we need to look at the whole situation, because there's 2 sides to every coin, all right? Now, when you're going through the challenge and you're trading multiple accounts and you may be using a copier, everything is hunky-dory for some reason when you're in the challenge. But once you get funded, you need to pause, take a time out, because decisions need to be made now. It's slightly different ball game, because here's how I look at it. There's different ways to look at this. And I'm not saying my way is right. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying there's different ways to look at this. And depending on the type of trader you are, you're going to have to make a decision. But let's say you got 5 accounts and you went through the funded challenge with 5 of them. Now you're funded. It was all hunky dory, but now you got a little fear, because you're thinking, if I have one bad day, I could wipe out all 5 accounts. Now that you have a pro account, trust me, you're thinking about this. You may not have been thinking about it in the challenge because it's just a challenge, but now that there's real money on the line, you're going to be thinking about, all right, well, I do have 5 accounts, and yeah, I would love to, have a $5, $10, $20, $50,000 day. But if I mess up, because here's the thing you need to think about. You can mess up, there are days that you can have a trading mistake and it's not even your fault, right? So let's talk about this worst case real quick while we're looking at this situation of what to do once you get funded with multiple accounts. Let's say you're taking a trade in a volatile market. You enter heavy, but you're only gonna risk 1 point because you like the market's so volatile. All I gotta do is risk 1 point, and if I stay alive, I'm gonna make a boatload of money. So you go really heavy. You go 5, 10 contracts or something, but you're only risking 1 point. So really, you're only risking like $250 or $500. But the market is moving so volatile, it kicks you in and it does some shenanigans, and you have no stop, you have no take profit. It just enters you in, right? And let's say it was volatile. This is why I did that, and it moved so quick. You blinked and you was down 10 points. You tried to get your finger to the clicker, you down 15 points. By the time you click, you've blown the account, right? Now, if you were copying all 5 accounts and that happened, you just lost your whole trading business, right? And it wasn't even your fault, right? It wasn't even over trading or revenge trading or a bad strategy or lack of this. No, it's just a trading. It was a mistake, it was a software mistake, It was a market mistake, and these things happen. So now that's the worst case, and that ain't even your fault. So we gotta go back and say, is it worth it? Is it worth it if you have 5 accounts to trade them all at once? My opinion is not. Okay, my opinion is not. I think once you get there and you have 5 accounts, you could do several different things. You could trade 2 of them together, right? So, you could trade 2 of them, you just trade together for whatever reason. Then the other 3 you trade together for whatever reason. If you do it that way, you still have scaled your business, right? You still scaled your business, but you're not putting all your eggs in one basket in one trade, or one trading session, one trading day, one trading week. See what I'm saying? You splitting up the risk, right? Because the real benefit of having those 5 accounts is that you actually have more risk if you break the accounts up. So here's what I mean by that. If you have 5 accounts at $100,000 with Take Profit Trader, you can't lose more than $3,000 in a day, right? Can't lose more than $3,000 in a day. So if you link all the accounts together, again, you can't lose more than $3,000 in a day and you will kill all those accounts, right? But if you traded them separately, you actually have $15,000 that could be lost, right? If you was trading the accounts separately. You see what I mean? So when you load up on accounts, there's different ways to look at it. You can look at it as you can scale your business to make more money faster. You also could look at it as by having this many accounts, I'm giving myself more chances to stay alive, more chances to trade properly, more chances to be profitable over a long period of time, because I'm not putting all my trades at risk at once. You know, I would rather just put, how about this? How about each setup you see, you trade a different account, right? So at the beginning of the morning, we had a higher low and I took it on account A, you know, and then later we had a breakout that I took on account B, you know, then later in the day I had a setup that I took on account C, right? And then I had an overnight trade that I took on account D. You see what I'm saying? So you would be spreading your risk out, not putting all your eggs in one basket, but still scaling the business. So again, I'm not saying there's a right way, there's a wrong way. I'm just showing you all the aspects of it. You know, you could use a trade copier, trade one account, put all your eggs in one basket, and that may work for you if your system is that good. If you are that good, if you were that consistent, go with that. There ain't no reason to do nothing else. Just trade the one account, right? If you're still making little trading mistakes, if know thyself, if you know you ain't quite right with your own personal discipline or strategy or whatever, don't put all your eggs in the same basket. Split them up. You know, use that extra cushion. You know, use that extra drawdown amount to stay alive longer amongst 5 accounts, right? Or if you know what you're doing, but you just don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, trade 2 accounts over here, trade 3 accounts over here. Never putting everything at once, all at risk, still scaling your business, still, you know, you make 1,000 here, you didn't make 1,000, you made 2,000. You make 1,000 over here, you didn't make 1,000, you made 3,000. So I like splitting it up. That's me. Everybody's gonna have to make a decision for themselves. But the beauty of it is that we know with Take Profit Trader, you can pay $200, get a 100K account, and in 2 weeks, next thing you know, you're making thousands of dollars. That's awesome, right? And after that, you can scale that situation up to 5 accounts. So, hey, listen, if you haven't gotten into the Take Profit, or if you haven't gotten into the prop firm game, I suggest you do. Again, I go with Take Profit Trader as my main source. Now, let me throw this out there to you. Let's say you do that with Take Profit Trader, you scaled up, you rolling with 5 accounts, and you getting it, right? Let's say you get it. You got 5 of them going, you getting it. There's nothing that says you have to stop with Take Profit Trader, okay? If you really want to scale your business, right, you can you can add another prop firm in, connect them to your NinjaTrader account, connect that to Replicano, and you can still be trading 1 account, right? And you can have 5 accounts with Take Profit Trader, 20 accounts with prop firm B, 10 accounts with prop firm C, you know, 5 accounts with prop firm D, you know, however many accounts, however big you want to scale your business, you can scale your trading business as large as you want it to be, going through prop firm companies and having a simple trade copier like Replicano. You put those 2 things together and you can have a downright humongous home-based trading business just by putting all those things together. So need I say more, right? Need I say more? So that's how I would scale. That's how easy it is to scale a business in the ES futures market. I hope this helps you out. I hope this helps you see something differently that maybe you didn't know about the market. Hope you learned something in this one that you maybe didn't know about the market. And again, if you are struggling, right? We just had a trader last week. This is kind of what brought about this video. Just had a trader last week who, you know, he said he had been using indicators. He had failed with other prop firms over and over and over again. He took all his indicators off his chart, you know, and boom, just like that, he's been passing prop firm challenges. So if you need help to get over that edge, our free guide, Finally Funded, might be the thing that helps you out. So just comment below, give me the guide, and I will send that right over to you, all right? So until next time, my name is JD, and as always, I wish you increase on the Sutton. Bye-bye.